13th of February, a Thursday, 2020 vision. Today, pleasure can become punishment. Whenever you get an impression of some pleasure, as with any impression, guard yourself from being carried away by it. Let it await your action. Give yourself a pause. After that, bring to mind both times. First, when you have enjoyed the pleasure, very like boxing it off, and later when you will regret it and hate yourself. Kind of interesting how a generational back then, having any kind of pleasure would ultimately lead to regretting, hating yourself. Then compare to those the joy and satisfaction you'd feel for abstaining. Notice the word abstaining altogether, so suppression. However, if a seemingly appropriate time arises, this is that I've had a few glasses of red wine and some grapes and I'm feeling the lord of my land. If the appropriate time arises to act on it, don't be overcome by its comfort, pleasantness and allure. But against all of this, how much better the consciousness of conquering it. Interesting that they talk in such strong, manly, alpha male words, conquering it. Like pleasure is something to be conquered because of the way that it makes you adjust your consciousness, makes you less of a manly man by conquering this overwhelming sensation of pleasure. And I get it, right? There's a self-control element in there, and it's a bit like diets where you have a cheat day. One of my favorite van lifers, Nomadic Fanatic, he's on a health kick right now, and he's doing incredibly well. Lost loads of weight, doing lots of exercise, changed his diet completely, cut out like fizzy drinks, and just eating better food. Just looks a million times better, right? But he has a cheat day, and I'm kind of wondering if his cheat day has changed the more he's realized that this stuff is helping him, because I think that's the big realization in life, is that pleasure and lots of other things can bring about some kind of like reset. I'm gonna sneeze. Can bring about some kind of reset in your life. And actually those cheat days that you kind of build up to, I can't wait till the weekend when I can have a Chinese, or I can't wait until the end of the month when I get paid because I'm going to do X, Y, and Z, or I'm going to like be able to do my hobby again, and I'm just going to have to suffer, or what was the word? Conquer my emotions until the end of the month. I think that's really interesting because especially what I've noticed with health and mental health is the more that you change your diet, the more that you get good sleep, the more that you tune in with yourself every day, meditation, exercise, drinking plenty of water to flush out all those toxins, you'd be surprised the amount of food that adjusts your brain chemistry. Like I noticed changing from kind of a heavy meat diet to more veg, chickpeas, kind of like I could tell the difference with my like ability to process things. But I think most people who get into the health kick then are like, oh, how far can I actually push this? I don't need to eat that crappy food on cheat day because I know I'm going to feel shitty and bloated and sick even afterwards. Like the initial like satisfaction of something familiar that you've probably had all your life. I know, like a big English breakfast or something, and then be like, actually I know it's going to make me bad. You end up like in your brain going, oh well, I can take Saturday or Sunday off, and if I am ill then it's all right if the rest of the day is shitty because that's my cheat day. But I found that more people who are exercising, getting healthy, they end up want to push it the other way. It's like, what can I replace this with that becomes kind of a cheat, but at the same time I'm not going to be sick. And I think you can apply that. Whoa! I think you can apply that. Sorry, I was out of phase there. I think you can apply that to anything in life, right? I think you can apply self-control in anything that you do, be it your career, be it your relationships, be it your drinking, eating, exercising. You can take something too far and you have to kind of balance it out and measure it. So I thought that was interesting today because I was on the fence about it. I was like, this passions and emotions doesn't feel very 2020 to me. It doesn't feel this generation. I think it does change with different generations. Final sentence to this end: it's important to connect the so-called temptation with its actual effects. Once you understand this, indulgence might actually be worse than resisting. The urge begins to lose its appeal. In this way, self-control becomes the real pleasure and the temptation becomes the regret. I subscribe to that. But it's hard to undo behaviors, and that's the biggest thing here, is that for me this book is about framing and putting a lens on behaviors through words on the page that jump out and I can identify with and then have an opinion about. And it's been really good for our relationship as well, mine and Dale's, because she watches these videos and we bounce back and forth on these, and she can see when it's unlocking certain things for me. Sometimes I just need something like this to check in on a daily basis, and this book has been particularly good because it is a page by page thing. It's not like I'm going to read, it's going to have an impact on me and then I'm going to be like, oh, I remember this sentence or I remember this chapter in a book. Like every one of these day little check-ins is just really useful as a framing of the day when sometimes you don't have that framing. Little bit of an update. I've started making little templates and layouts and building up to sell little packs on Gumroad, and I'm looking to build a virtual OBS. That is a OBS setup that runs on a VPS. I'm probably going to run it on Windows because 64-bit Windows with nothing else installed on it, fairly secure with nothing else running. Also great for plugins and scripts and or 64-bit little Python apps and things like that. I could run it in a Mac environment, I guess, and connect to it like using RDP and have it as like a virtual desktop, which I might do, or I might run it as Linux. Linux has got OBS on it as well, so I don't know. I need to weigh it all up. Linux will probably be the most secure, to be honest. But I'm looking around for providers that do that. I'm either going to do it myself with a VPS installation and then step through and go through all the parts from hardening to, virtual RTMP streams brought into NDI, virtualization of like a local network, so other people can connect into it and utilize it and use it and add elements in and update it while I'm streaming or whatever. But I've started up Steamcasting the account again today. I've just paid for the domain again for another year. I powered down some Steam from that account to be able to do that. But feeling positive about making assets again. I think I just needed to get through January in terms of clarity, and then this month there's passions and emotions. I'm realizing that I've framed the emotions that I have in terms of using social apps and social technology on a daily basis, and now my passions is focusing on the things that I love to make, the little animations, the effects, the assets that make making content to put on the web a lot easier, instead of having that head stress of like, oh no, I've got to shoot and edit and then I've got to add these bits in there and I've got to do SEO and all that. I'm not trying to automate it. I'm trying to make it easier for me to shoot, lightly edit, upload and tag, so that I can be in and out and start making content for the next day or start making assets for the next pack, and hopefully get to a point where the residuals just cover everything that I need to cover to allow me to spend 2 weeks or a month to learn a new skill. I really want to learn animation. I think I could do some really cool stuff in Adobe Motion, and I also want to start streaming as well. Mainly, one, because I think it'd be cool to connect with people in a community. I don't see many people doing blockchain game streaming kind of stuff, so I think that would be a plus because I love posting on the Steam blockchain and I love OST. So I think there's a marketplace. I think there's a niche there for streamers or people who are already making content on YouTube to also bolt in elements, like stream elements that they can put in their stream to promote each other and get the word out about crypto, because we're just about into a bull market, I think, or it's just starting to pick up again. XRP and Ethereum is just jumping off the page, and a whole bunch of others are as well. So, all right, I will catch up with you tomorrow. Hope you're well wherever you are on this Thursday. I'm looking forward to this weekend. Valentine's is tomorrow. Hope you're doing something cool. I'm going to be sharing a bottle of wine, and then jumping into template stuff on the weekend. So hopefully I'll have something up to date next Monday or Tuesday about this Gumroad pack. But I'm aiming for 100 elements in this pack, and to sell it reasonably cheap, like $10 or something, if it's helpful for people, and then maybe switch up to using that inside of OBS. So, all right, I will catch up with you tomorrow. Take care. Bye bye.
Drifting slowly into an empty space.